Hello, it was on this day in 1911 that the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in Paris. It was returned a couple of years later. It had been stolen as a publicity stunt to try and draw to the attention of the public the fact that a painting by such a well-known Italian as Leonardo da Vinci should be kept in Paris. But it was indeed a painting that was completed in Paris because Leonardo had been sent there by the Pope as a sort of goodwill gesture to the French king. And Leonardo took with him this painting that he'd been working on already since about 1503 or 4, and even when he died in 1517, he didn't accept that it was finished. He always thought there was another brushstroke that might improve it, because it did represent not only his great artistic ability, but also his studies of light and how light worked, and it drew together so much of what was important to him. But it wasn't just the painting that he seemed reluctant to accept had finished. He in his jottings, wrote near the end of his life, "Is anything ever accomplished? Is anything ever done?" He clearly had this sense that he didn't feel that anything was really finished. Nothing was ever sufficiently perfect to be said to be ready to stop. I think for all of us there's a tendency to keep going with things longer than we should, things that have become so much part of our lives, or things which we want to persevere with because don't feel they're quite right yet, or things that are no longer appropriate because circumstances have changed, things that we should just stop and let go of. But it's very hard sometimes to do it because they have become so much part of us, or because we're so perfectionists we really want to go on until we're absolutely, completely happy with what we've done. But it may be a relationship, it may be a project, it may be a job of piece of employment that we have to say no, the time has come to stop it, and it's sometimes quite difficult. The English painter Ewan Uglow was once asked how he knew when a painting was finished. And he said, it tells me. And there are times when we know that it's time to stop, and then it's not too difficult. It just feels right. But there are other times when we don't know when is the right time, and it's a bit of a problem to know whether we should persevere with something or should just give up and stop doing it. And there's that interesting conversation between John Coltrane, the great jazz trumpeter, who once working with Miles Davis said to him that he couldn't quite work out how to end an improvisation, and Miles Davis said, "Take the trumpet out of your mouth." Sometimes you just have to decide that even it doesn't feel necessarily the right moment, you're not quite sure when would be right, you're not even sure you want to stop, but sometimes you just have to do it. And I think sometimes today we need to be reminded that just persevering for its own sake isn't always a good thing, and sometimes things just have to stop.